an intense feeling of deep affection. Sound accurate to you? How about to like or enjoy something very much? This is what we mean when we say we love someone or something, right? Well, there's another type of love I want to talk about today. It's a transformative kind of love that I'll bet you're not getting enough of, and this gap is holding you back from reaching your full potential. But before we get all lovesick together, I want to tell you more about these things, my crutches. I was born in India and I contracted polio as a child. My mother surrendered me to an orphanage where I lived until the age of 6. Fortunately, I was adopted by a lovely American couple who brought me back to the United States, where I was finally able to receive the proper medical care I needed. This became my new wonderful family. But I kind of stuck out. I was disabled as well as shorter and browner than not just my immediate family, but most of the suburban community I grew up in. Watching television didn't help me feel like I belonged in my new home. It was very rare to see a brown person in media, let alone a brown person with a disability like me in media. And when you don't see yourself represented anywhere, you begin to subconsciously internalize feelings of inadequacy. I'm not good enough. Not to mention what that absence tells everyone else about the value of people with disabilities like me. She must not be good enough. My perceived potential shrank dramatically. I want to tell you guys about someone who was able to overcome those odds. Her name is Margaret Frommer. If necessity is the mother of invention, then Margaret Frommer was an OG hacker. She was a quadriplegic who pioneered the very first communication aids for people with severe disabilities in the 1970s. Margaret used her disability as a catalyst for innovation and change. Building on her legacy, we now have advanced technology that can finally tell us what the weather is right outside our front door. I didn't know about Margaret when I was growing up, but I had the same kind of internal drive to make a difference, to have my own first. So, to be the change I wanted to see in the world, I decided I was going to become a model. Yes, I wanted to join the ranks of the women I saw on television and in the magazines. And the fact that I'm not even 5 feet tall on my tippy toes never even fazed me. Apparently, I declared, "I'm so tall," the first time I stood up in my very first pair of leg braces and crutches. So the idea just kind of stuck with me. At any rate, I knew what I wanted to become, but I had absolutely no idea how to get there. A good family friend told me they thought I would make an excellent broadcast journalist. So I made that my major at Elmhurst University. After I graduated, I started to pick up small gigs here and there, and little by little, after lots, and boy do I mean lots of rejection, I finally started carving out a place for myself in the industry. I signed with an agent in Chicago, and shortly after, I landed my very first national commercial for Walmart. I thought I was making it and that things were going great, but beneath the surface, there was something missing, something that was holding me back from true success. I wouldn't realize it until one day my friend NK dropped a truth bomb on me. She told me that I wasn't owning my disability. Rather, she said I was diminishing it. She noticed me stashing my crutches out of sight in photos and refusing to wear clothes that showed my braces. She watched me hide, trying to be like the women I grew up admiring. The truth was simply this. I had no idea that I didn't truly love myself. The revelation left me feeling completely exposed and incredibly embarrassed. But I was really grateful that I had a friend who was brave enough to help me by calling it out. And I do mean brave. Can you imagine telling someone with a disability that they don't own it? Don't worry, NK and I are still very good friends. But she was right. And now I had to face my greatest fear. But could I still reach my potential if I stopped hiding my disability? People would always say to me, Rajee, you're so confident and you carry yourself so well. It's like you don't even have a disability. But where was that coming from? Was it really the compliment that I thought it was? I've spent years going inward, trying to understand myself better, finding the balance between not allowing my disability to define me while working harder to be a visible disability advocate in media and entertainment. A couple years ago, I was scrolling through Instagram and I was waiting for an Uber to head to a friend's birthday party when I saw a casting call for an intimate apparel brand, Aerie. I had always loved the brand for its emphasis on self love, for obvious reasons, but coincidentally, my last name is Aerie. So it was a perfect fit. I immediately canceled my Uber and submitted my audition right away. It was the last day to submit, so I got in just in the nick of time. A couple weeks later, I got an email that I was selected to be a model. I was super ecstatic, but I was incredibly terrified, and that's exactly why I said yes. This woman who once wore clothes to hide her braces and stashed her crutches out of photos was being asked to model in her underwear. In 2018, I became one of the first disabled models to be featured in Times Square for the intimate apparel brand Aerie. I visited New York, and as I stood in front of this giant billboard of myself, I felt completely exposed, but this time incredibly proud. I had achieved my first, just like Margaret Farmer had achieved hers. Margaret's paralysis was caused by polio, just like mine. After her mother died, she was sent to a nursing home to live out of the public eye. This is where she stayed, powerless and abandoned, until a couple of friends decided to jailbreak her out of there. They found her an apartment and provided for her medical care. Love was the secret ingredient that made all the difference for Margaret. But what kind of love am I talking about? I have a friend who can help me with this one. Hey Alexa, what is love?
Here's what love means to Rajee, a product specialist and disability activist.
Love is supporting people in pursuing their dreams no matter their abilities.
That's my voice in a campaign called Love Has No Labels for Alexa. The type of love I'm talking about has the power to transform a setback into a superpower. This kind of love, often regarded as the highest form of love, this type of love puts someone else's interest above your own. Some might call it charitable, giving to someone else without expecting anything in return. But it's more than that. It's an active love propelling us forward as the engine of a thriving and robust community. This kind of love values abundance over scarcity, collaboration over competition. It's deeply personal, profoundly communal, and absolutely reciprocal. So give as much as you can, because how we care for one another defines the very limits of our individual and potential collective. It defines our future. I can certainly see how it shaped mine. Starting with my birth mom, who knew that she couldn't properly take care of her child with a disability, so she gave me up for adoption, and she held in her heart the hope that someone would come for me. My family, who welcomed me with open arms and never once questioned my aspirations. And Kay, who told me what I needed to hear, bless her heart. I made it to this stage and this far in my career because of them, as well as my own individual effort, passion, persistence, perseverance, and patience. My next move is to pursue TV and film, where the disability community is the largest underrepresented demographic. I know I won't be able to get there without giving or receiving a lot of love. Whatever your goal is, please know that you're not meant to go at it alone. Lean into love. Let your love be greater than your fear. Love inspires action, action delivers results, and those results can change a life, uplift a community, and maybe even change the world. Thank you.